I'll just start off the session by introducing myself. My name is Shinji. I'm sure all of you guys are quite familiar with what we're doing. We basically do spaces like this. We're also doing spaces about money, the blockchain, and NFTs as well. And today, it's not about us. Today is about Nurina and Vivian specifically, and also Shah. Let's not forget Shah. Basically, our purpose today is to bring artists into the NFT universe. And in this case, Vivian, she has minted on Opensea before, and Nurina, she has yet to mint her first NFT. So I will pass the session to allow Raj to introduce himself and what this whole program is all about and what are we going to expect. Raj, please, go ahead.
Sure. Thank you. First of all, thank you, Shinji, for arranging this session in a very short time. And I'm glad to see our artists making it despite their busy schedule. So basically, my name is Raj, and I'm the project manager for this project. Our project is called Project Cryptonate. Basically, it's when we talk about Cryptonate, it sounds so much like the Superman Kryptonite. And Cryptonate basically means cryptocurrency and donate. This translates actually to our main reason why we're here. Long story short, we are a group of students, postgraduate students, MBA students from UKM, and we are supposed to pick a charity-based project. And when we talk about charity-based, the basic concept is all about fundraising stuff. But then we wanted to make a huge difference. So instead of going mainstream into animals, into giving for common for old folks, for kids and everything, because there are many organizations, NGOs already dedicated for many causes, right? So then we decided to go to think which people really are not being targeted, are not getting any help or much help in Malaysia. So then we looked at it and we came across this very interesting term called infertility. Actually, to be honest, we have one of our team member, Captain Adan, actually. So he brought this and I was very surprised, infertility. And I start thinking, is there such a thing? Is there someone who is actually supporting them? And then when we make our research, we came across this only one group that is called TAF, Tunku Aziza Fadli Foundation. And to our surprise, it's actually it's under the Queen, Yang Kediabayam Tunku Aziza. And when we talk about that, and then we became very curious. People say it's with the Queen, and why no one knows about it? They're very much low profile, and we did some kind of research and start talking and reaching out to them. And it's very interesting, guys, in the sense that when we talk about infertility, what they actually do is they are supporting, or they tend to support B40 childless couples. So that means any mother or father, parents who cannot afford, right? What is B40? People cannot afford, doesn't have money. They have no one to say about, since it's a very taboo topic, no chance to have a child, and they have no idea what to do. So basically, TAF supports them in consultation and the fees in terms of medical. So it's really amazing, when we talk about it. And just a fun fact for you, TAF has already helped to conceive 1,000 babies over here. But interestingly, there are so many B40 people that it's very difficult to get support because it's completely run by the people itself, and he has any external influence outside, although it's a foundation. So yeah, that's basically about it. And one thing, Shinji, you'll be very surprised to know that they have a waiting list of 1.5 years of couples.
Wow.
So that's the number of B40 people who really want to have a child but do not have a chance for it. So how do they get a monetary fund for this, And TAF cannot support it since the last 1.5 years. So then that's where we took up this project, and that's where we are today. We set up a group of artists. We reach out to them to join the cause, 12 artists, and they have been really amazing and support for the cause. And that's where we would like to talk about them. Some of them are from Pentas, some of them returning to Pentas, and some of them are are completely new to the NFT world. But the beauty about it is 12 different artists from different genres, different background, don't know each other. Some of them know each other, came together, when we reach out to them, each one of them for the cause. That's where we are today. And they are coming up with wonderful arts for this infertility. So I'll talk more about this because I think I'll stop you there. I'll pass it over. But you'll be wondering, infertility, how are we going to draw? What is it going to be? I think that I'll leave to the artist and maybe I'll wrap it up later. So that's pretty much about our project.
Yeah, Raj. Raj, you've also approached me about this project, and I'm really excited to help you guys to do this. And at the end of the day, the 12 artists, each of them are actually drawing about different types of emotion, huh, Raj?
Correct. So to put it into very simple perspective, the pain, right, of when we talk about not having a child is not about just going through medical procedures, needles, but it's also about emotions from not having a child to having a child. So we map it into 12 emotions from the part of not having a baby to going through the procedure and having a child. So that 12 emotions, each of them, one artist have the chance to pick the emotions that they want, and then based on their specialty they come up with any kind of funky, cool, whatever kind of art. It could be related to infertility, it might not be infertility, but end of the day it relates to that emotion. So when we arrange those 12 emotions, it forms one storyline which we could relate to infertility. So that's basically what they have done.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we'll let the artists speak for themselves.
Sure.
Thank you so much, Raj, for talking about the project itself. Allow me to move on to Nurina first. Nurina, please introduce yourself and what you're
Hello.
currently doing.
Hello, hi. Nice to meet all of you. My name is Nurina. I live in Shah Alam. It's about 10 years. Currently, I'm a full-time freelance abstract artist, also a housewife. I have a bachelor degree in accountancy, MMU College. My working experience is after I graduate, I'm working at one of the audit firm in Johor Bahru for 2 years. And then after married, I'm helping my husband to take over to manage his company, textile company actually, Jekyll Textile for 6 years in fashion industry. Um, I have experience more on the textile, designing a scarf, clothes, and so on. So from there, I know the little bit about the design and abstract design. So I got the basic from there also. My working experience, I'm working as an auditor in one of the audit firm for 2 years after graduate in Johor Bahru, and then after married, I'm helping my husband working in the Jekyll Textile fashion industry. From there, I'm learning more about the design, the abstract, and many more. So I design the scarf and clothes and so on. I have 4 kids, 3 boys and 1 girl. Uh, for now, I'm working as a full-time abstract artist and also a housewife. I think that's all for me, about me. Any
Wow,
question? Yeah.
4 kids, huh? So
Four kids, yeah.
how do you manage to have 4 kids and then still find time to how do I say this?
To do painting.
Yeah, to do painting. And could
And
you explain a bit of your style of painting? Like, is it on canvas? Is it how hard is it to paint? So yeah.
okay, my painting is mostly painting on canvas, and the method that I'm using is mostly on pouring method and traditional method using a brush. But using a pouring method, I mix the color. I'm using acrylic color mixed with the silicone oil. If you can see, most of my painting is very precise. If you close up, it still looks good. And then that's why I like to do this technique. I combine with the traditional and pouring method. I like to most of my painting on canvas because they can hold the ink, the color, and dry faster than other color. Like oil color, it takes a few days to dry, and but using the acrylic color, I think 1 to 2 days is completely dry and long lasting.
Wow. Okay. I'm sure Vivian also has a bit of experience in painting as well. Vivian, do you want to introduce yourself, Vivian?
My name is Vivian. I'm the founder of New News Gallery. And then I'm from Bentong, Pahang. Okay, just very near to Genting Highland. If you like durian, you can come to Bentong. I had a Bachelor of Interior Architecture and Design from the First City University College, and I hold a Master of Landscape Architecture from Leeds Beckett University in UK. And when I come back, I work as an interior designer for a year as a residential designer. After that, I moved to teaching career, which I become a lecturer in Saito University College for about 5 years. And then during the MCO, I quit my job and become a full-time artist. But I found that it's not that easy to become a full-time artist in Malaysia, especially during the MCO period. That's why I go back to my teaching career again. Now I'm a part-time lecturer in New Era University College. I founded the New News Gallery, which is a virtual online gallery 8 years ago. And I had my first solo spray paint exhibition in 2018. And then, but during that time, still nobody knows who is New yet. Okay, but not last year, during the 2020, during the first year of MCO, when I painted the portrait painting of daughter Noor Hisham, then only people know who is New, because a lot of reporters, newspaper come up with the news of myself, handling the portrait painting to Dr. Noor Hisham. And then at the same year, 2020, I did a thumbprint portrait of Tunku Abdul Rahman during the Merdeka. Then after that, I think during the Deepawali, also TV2 interviewed me about my column painting using the spray paint and acrylic, using the Zentangle method. And last year, which is 2021, I because of the MCO, I changed to the online teaching platform, which I teach acrylic and crayon painting. Yes.
Wow.
That's
Okay. So if any of us need art classes, can we go and take art classes from you? Anybody from Pentas and then the Twitter community, if you ever need art classes, we can just go to you and ask you for some insight. Yeah. Your method of painting is very different from, I would say, traditional artists. In particular, you use your thumb. I also saw your art with Tunku Abdul Rahman, and also this one that I put up on our Twitter space right here. How did you actually derive this method of using your thumb? And how did you train yourself to develop such a skill?
Actually, I was thinking about what else to paint without a brush. So when I researched online, there are a lot of tools such as fork, even knife. But I still think that tools are something that is not belong to us. It's something else, something outside. But thumb or thumbprint or fingerprint is something that is irreplaceable, and it is something that is very unique from your own. So that's why I come up with the idea of using thumb to paint the founding father of Malaysia, which is Tunku Abdul Rahman. And he is also irreplaceable. He's the image of everyone in Malaysia that we also know about him. That's why I paint it for the Merdeka during 2020.
Wow. Okay. Right. There's definitely a lot of technique right there, and it's very personal. Yeah, Raj, you unmuted yourself. You got something to say?
Yeah. I just like to share one interesting thing about Vivian, is that when we were looking, right, for the artist, one of them, and then we were looking outside the circle, and interestingly, Vivian has also, besides making all these unique arts, she's also done a lot of works which involves women, issues affecting women, the emotions, and in a very unique way. If I'm not mistaken, during pandemic, you also make something on women, right? On emotions. Correct me if I'm wrong, Vivian.
Yes, that was NFT art that's being minted. It's called the Reveal, and I'm very thankful that one of the supporter actually bought the painting, both physically and what's called that software, soft copy, and both the hard copy and soft copy. It is about to reveal the inner feelings of actually everyone, but especially women, because of all the issues, being quarantined at home and a lot of housework to do, and cannot go to work, etc., which is I myself experiencing also.
Yeah. So I think that answers you, Shinji, that why she best fit to actually show us emotions in terms of abstract. So that's one of the very interesting thing, because when we talk about abstract, right, it's very unique. We cannot decipher what the artist is thinking, except for them themselves. So we have seen her art, and it's very interesting the way she brought up the emotions on this. So amazing.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically the reason why we want them to create a Twitter account. FYI, guys, in the audience, these two artists, they actually created Twitter just a few days ago. Okay, and Raj approached me with this project to raise some funds towards infertility, and I told him that, okay, why not we put the artists on the limelight? We give the artists the recognition that they deserve, because they're all extremely talented. It's just that they have not actually ventured in too much to the NFT universe yet. If I'm not mistaken, Nurina, have you ever minted NFTs before?
No, actually, I'm not very familiar about NFT. I know about the NFT after I make one online gallery, new IG, and I posted a few picture about my painting, and then a few people approached me. I think it's not from Malaysia lah, approached me about the NFT, and then I Google it, and then from there I know what is NFT, Opensea, and so on. So that's the first thing that I know is from the IG lah.
I see.
Instagram.
Do you know? Sorry to interrupt, Shinji. When she spoke about overseas, right? There's something I have to mention about Nurina, is that about her story, right? When we talked about her, she, you see, as I mentioned many times already, right now we wanted 12 artists from different genre or different background. She's an abstract artist, but when we look at her, we wanted someone from the real life who actually works on exhibitions, works on different things, because we were short-handed on that. And every time we go approach someone, they are in the real world, they're not as welcoming as the NFT community. I have to be very honest on this. But when we reached out to her, and we found out a lot of stories about her. And interestingly, I have to tell you this, is that she doesn't only cater for local markets, also to Dubai, to the Middle East country, and she was very very low down to earth person. And I think a couple of days ago, even I think Noah Danish also posted something about her art that she purchased from Nurina. So she's very humble, low profile. She's into NFTs. She is not into NFTs, but we're glad that she could be part of this journey. You want to add anything, Nurina, on this?
Yeah, maybe I can learn from you all about the NFT, because for me NFT is very interesting in this modern world that I have to learn. So I choose your group for me to expand my business through this NFT.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a good choice. Talking about NFTs, right?
thank you.
Let's welcome Shah. Hi, Shah. Are you here?
Hello.
Hello. How are you, Shah?
Good.
Shah and me, we go way back lah. I mean, not to say that way back until 1997, that type of time lah. But our first session of the Tanah Tumpahnya NFT Ku, Shah, were you there? I think you were there, right? Back in
I
September.
think yes. The first session I wasn't there, but I was there on the second session.
Yeah,
But I was your avid listener lah.
And after that, you became a few of the session hosts, and also last week ASEAN, also a few times also. Shah has been hosting our session. I'm sure the community is extremely familiar with Shah over here. But we've talked always about you, Shah, but we've never talked about your works. So allow me to just give you some time to talk a bit about your works. How do you actually draw them? Do you do them on canvas, or do you do them digitally? So go ahead, Shah. Give yourself a good introduction about your artworks.
Okay, hello everyone. I think most of the NFT communities here know about me already. I'm quite I talk to them a lot. So I actually my art journey is, I can say 90% I'm doing it digitally. I'm starting to use picture editing, doing some collage things in back then on 2016, if I'm not mistaken. So I do that a lot. So if you go to my profile, my Twitter header is one of my first design that I did, the black cat one. So it's mostly collage, digital that I did. So I start doing design, not basically drawing digitally yet, since 2016, and sold it as art. So I sold it as a printing and some of merchandise a lot in Society 6, in Creative Uniteds for local platforms. And after that, I think during most of the time I do this thing is as hobby, because I'm working as marketing professional, and also I do design during my job. So when you do design for job, you for those people who do understand this, you have some particular guideline you have to follow. So you don't really expand your talent. So while I'm at it, while I'm at free time, so I want to expand whatever idea that I have to do something with it for my hobby. So, and then after that, if I'm not mistaken, during PKP, I stopped drawing quite a while. I think the time when I moved to Doha for 2 years, I stopped drawing. I draw just for conteng only. I did not post it anywhere during that time. And then after I came back to Malaysia, for during PKP, I start picking up my brush and my actually my one of my favorite thing that I love to use during PKP is oil pastel. So I start drawing with oil pastel a lot, but I did not sell that. It's just just to polish my skills back, and because you left drawing and designing for 2 years, so picking up my skills back for during the PKP. And then on 2020, if you're not mistaken, 2020, my husband gave me a set of iPad with pencils, Apple pencils. So he said, do something with it. So yes, I take his challenge. So I start drawing digitally 100% actually last year. So yeah, and then I'm entering NFTs 2021. When Pentas started, Pentas is my first NFT platform. I've seen a lot of platform, and I have a little bit problem, to understand and everything. And apparently when I see Pentas is very easy to understand, very, also very cheap gas fee. So, and then the community, obviously all the locals, and then it's aligned with whatever I want to do, is which is preserving the heritage and culture. So yeah, that's about it about myself. Sorry, it's a little bit lengthy.
No, actually, we don't know about a lot of your background and how you came to
Yeah,
draw art.
apparently I
So
never tell anyone, including
yeah,
my leader.
Raj, you got anything to say, Raj?
Yeah. I'm excited to say about Shah actually.
Sure,
Um,
please.
First things first, right? I think Shah is the reason even I get to know you, Shinji. Without her, I wouldn't have known you for the Tanah Tumpah and NFT crew. So we're grateful for that. About Shah, interesting thing, I think her work, as she says, as you already mentioned, people, everyone, I think mostly knows about her. Her work is also very interesting on the Malay lady kind of, Malay girl, sorry, kind of drawings and stuff. So she was very interesting. But we our journey where we actually met her was very interesting one. I think we should just share a little bit here. She was the only artist that we coincidentally bumped into her compared to the rest. So we saw her work before, but we didn't know that she's the owner, and so happened we bumped into her. And then when we shared the idea, and she was like very excited, upfront, saying that, hey, oh, you guys are doing this, oh, and all kind of things. And then we saw the excitement to be looking at the cost, because whenever we talk about this kind of cost, infertility, people, just give us a very strange stare, but she gave us a different vibe. And then we say, hey, would you like to join? And then looking back at the work, then I remember her works, and I told her, hey, this is the work that you did, right? Then she said, yeah, this is my work. Oh, finally we met the artist, so it's quite a funny story actually of how we met Shah. And then I think fast forward, that's where we are today. And yeah, it's very interesting, and I think we're looking forward for art. That's a short story about Shah over here.
Wow. Yeah. Definitely a lot of coincidences right there, lah,
Yes,
Raj.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Aisha, I do have a few questions to ask you. In particular, this can hopefully help Nurina and Vivian as well. Your experience in Pentas, Shah, you've minted quite a few NFTs. The community is also quite familiar with Pentas. Can you explain what Pentas is and how it exactly helps our Malaysian artists, in this case, Vivian and Nurina?
Okay, I think for this one, mostly for Vivian and Nurina, some of you guys here I can see is a Pentas artist yourself lah. Pentas is a local NFT marketplace that they have this mission to empowering digital culture and heritage. So they are actually the marketplace that seeks to empower content creator of heritage, cultural and traditional value through digital preservation of assets. So with that, we know that what they are trying to do is, putting our culture and our heritage, specifically Southeast Asia, to be to preserve it into NFT, because we know NFT is something that you put it on blockchain, it's forever. So their mission is more to empowering the culture of heritage. Imagine one day when after 100 years or after 500 years, or maybe someday, blockchains is still there, the smart contract of Pentas holding all these cultures and heritage art. So imagine you are part of this journey. So they actually trying to do that in a way other than supporting all the local artists. And for the local Malaysian artists, we see a lot of them are having a lot of platform they are venturing into. But I am so proud to see a lot of local artists starting their journey with Pentas, understanding NFT, because being in Pentas is so easy. I think the youngest members, creators that I've seen in Pentas is 11 years old. Imagine 11 years old can understand how to use Pentas. That's how easy Pentas it is. So for me, I'm very proud to say that Pentas is becoming, the first platform for artists or for creators to start their NFT journeys. And after that, they probably widen their wings, to go to a bigger platform, to a bigger sea that they can go. So to be in Pentas as the first platform and also a local platform is something you can be proud of, and something that I am proud to say that I'm supporting each local artist to be in this community.
That's really fantastic, Shah. And one of the main reasons why we came to Pentas is because of the extremely cheap gas fees, lah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Everyone said that.
yeah, it's really cheap to mint on the Binance Smart Chain. If Nurina, you don't understand what we're talking about, it's okay, Nurina. Shah can actually guide you, or anybody within this NFT community. We have Roach Pang, we have Aphrodite here, we have Pat Lon Choi, we have Green Gang, so many familiar faces. We even have the collectors here, Cody also here. They are able to help you to either set up an account or give you some tips and tricks on how to mint on Pentas as well. In this case, Vivian, you've actually minted on Opensea before, am I right?
Yes.
And what was the experience with minting on Opensea?
Actually, I haven't heard about Pentas before I joined you guys. So the first platform I know is Opensea, but the gas fees is very high.
Yeah, the gas fees is definitely extremely high on the Ethereum network. So what else? What are the works that you have minted on OpenSea? Are they like your thumbprint works or your Zentangle works? Do you want to share a bit about
Uh,
your artworks
I
on OpenSea?
just needed portrait paintings and spray paintings on the OpenSea platform.
I
Yeah,
see. I see.
still, s- still a lot of artworks to mint yet.
Right. So you can definitely bring a few artworks and try to mint them on Pentas, right, Shah?
Yeah,
Is the
sure.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We'll move on over to Nurina. Yeah, Nurina.
Yeah.
What do you hope for when you heard of NFTs before, but the
Yeah.
first time of you hearing NFTs, what was your reaction, and do you actually believe in tokenizing your works into the blockchain?
Oh, my understanding is through the NFT, we digitalize the painting, right? Using the token, is it right? And then, in my opinion, that's good. Once you digitalize the painting will last forever. And then it's good for the artists to join the NFT because I think it's a good platform to go further in this modern world.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
definitely one of the ways to preserve your artwork in the blockchain itself, and also, I would say, claim some sort of ownership lah,
yeah.
within the blockchain itself. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So, your works, when it comes to your works, your paintings, they are extremely abstract.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, they don't really resemble uh, a particular shape or form. Sometimes it's very hard to see, and we have to witness it for some time. Then we'll only be able to see the true beauty of the artwork itself. From where do you actually take your inspirations or ideas for your works?
Well, my inspiration is from my own imagination. I express my emotion in the form of colors, texture, and design into the canvas. I think every person who view the abstract will have their own perspective and feeling. It's very subjective. So basically, it depends on my mood also to make a painting. The choosing the colors, whether it's bold color or pastel color, is all depends on my own imagination. And sometimes I make a research the artwork from the other artists, so to get some idea.
And the name of the painting itself, did you come up with it yourself, or how do you actually come up with a name for your painting?
Yeah, I come up with myself with my imagination, and before I painting, so I think how to paint, and then from that I make my painting into the canvas. Yeah, it's basically it's emotion. So after the painting done, then I create the title from every painting that I made.
I see. And when you start to paint, sorry, I just to keep bugging you, because
It's okay.
I'm actually really curious. But when you start to paint, do you actually have an end picture in mind? Do you actually have a direction when you start painting, or you just go with the flow? Actually, this is the question I will ask every single artist tonight also. So, do you go with the flow, or do you have an end direction of what you want to paint?
Sometimes I go with the flow, and sometimes I have something in my mind. It depends. But mostly I go with the flow. Yeah,
I see.
it's very subjective actually. It's very complicated to explain.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
true.
Mm.
Shah, you have thoughts on this? Whether you have an end goal in mind, or because you draw more specific figures. In this case, you draw women. Do you actually have the end of the product in mind when you draw the picture itself?
Before my NFT project, right? Because the woman's in with glasses is my one of I choose that as my first NFT project, because some of the arts that I produced before was sold on other platform, which is, I think, is not fair for my future collectors. If I already sell it outside and then I sell it as an NFT, it's actually possible for Nurina and new information, but for my side, I don't feel like I want to do that. But for me, emotional wise, sometimes hardly to say that we already. Sometimes you have it in your head already. It's just how you make it on to be on canvas or to be on the screen or whatever. What is that called? Whatever place that you want to draw, pour your heart, pour your art into it. Like last time, previously, I drew based on quote or based on poem. So sometimes I saw a really nice poem about sea, and then I feel like, oh, I want to draw something about sea. But how I'm going to tell people this art is related to this poem? So sometimes it's depend. Sometimes, like Nurina said, it's complicated to explain, but somehow it's in our head already.
I see. Okay, because I'm not an artist. I think the speakers here know the best I can do is just draw a stick man. So I definitely have the end goal in mind, lah. Just a circle and a few lines right there. Then that's done already. But Vivian,
Before you drew a stick man, maybe in your head you want to draw Cristiano Ronaldo, but came out as stick man.
yeah,
It could be like that, it's in your head, but sometimes you don't know how to deliver that. It's
yes,
depend, yeah.
yes. So I will definitely ask you guys again later afterwards. I talked to Vivian first about how you actually have a picture in your head and draw it, and be able to express it out. But Vivian, what do you think, man? What do you think? Do you have an picture in mind when you draw your
Yeah.
artworks or paintings?
It actually
Look,
depends. If
yeah,
I paint abstract painting, then I will just go with the flow. Anything, the outcome is fine for me. But if I draw portrait, of course, I need to recognize the face first before I paint.
I see. Okay, when you draw portraits, you have a photograph beside you, and then you just go with the idea of putting your thumb on the canvas and putting it on the paint, then putting it on the canvas again. How long does it actually take to thumbprint the Tunku Abdul Rahman piece, if you don't mind me asking?
That one, it took me 5 days. Sometimes I would do some draft before I go for the final painting because need some practice so that the facial expression will look more similar to the person for portraits.
I see. Okay. And are there any techniques or secrets that you would like to share with the public when it comes to thumb painting? Because this is actually the first time I heard about thumb painting. Yeah, I'm sorry, but you can actually share with the public what do you think about thumb painting and yeah.
I think the best secret is to be patient enough. uh, for me to change the photo to a very high contrast photo so that I can capture the light and shadow well, I use Photoshop to help me to increase the contrast and also change it into black and white so that I can see which part is the shadow, which part is the light. And then I will paint. For the Tunku Abdul Rahman portrait, I choose 3 colors. The light one I use yellow, and then medium I use red, and the darkest I use black color to represent the 3 main races in Malaysia.
I see. Okay, sure. Yeah, thank you so much, Vivian. Shah, do you want to talk a bit about the not say Pentas experience, but have you actually minted your artworks at different blockchains before? And comparing with Pentas, how is it like better when it comes to wearable, when it comes to foundation, and what's the end goal for these artists right here? In this case, Nurina and New.
You asked the wrong person, man. because I never means anywhere else other than Pentas, really. Because yes, because right now, I'm doing art as a hobby. So even for Pentas, I don't really have time to produce an art, to mean like everybody else here, like they mean it every week. So I feel like yeah, for me for Nurina and for Nunu, it's depend on your goal actually. If let's say when you want to mean your artwork, any platform or any blockchains is actually pretty much the same except the gas fee. But the main goal is actually yes to put your you have to understand what's your goal while producing an NFT, whether you want to to sell it and to make it to make money out of it, or you want to have fun, or just to put it up into the blockchain. As for myself, it's not really have fun, like of course I need the money, but the main goal is to put the arts into blockchain. So yeah, I'll have fun with it. I'll share my artwork. I'll share my information about the artworks. At the same time, yes, of course, when people buy it, I feel like appreciated a little bit, lah. So it's depend on your main goal for me. If NFT, anywhere you go, any platform you go, it's look back into your objective, and then work from there.
Yes, definitely. You must have an objective, whether it is to make profit or to really go with it with the passion, or just have fun. At the end of the day, if you have fun, then you don't care about the profits. If you manage to sell, then you can go ahead and sell your artworks. But you two are extremely fantastic artists, Vivian and Nurina. I'm sure that whenever you guys go ahead and mint, there is somebody who's definitely going to look at your artworks and be like, wow, it's just fantastic. In fact, I think the audience right here are also quite impressed with your works as well. Yeah, Shah, I do want to ask you again about marketing a bit. Is marketing NFTs actually hard? Let's let's tackle this question together. And if Rochpang is here, I want him to come up because Rochpang is a marketing beast. If it's possible to have him to come up, and maybe Cody also can share his thoughts a bit about marketing, so that the artists Nurina and Vivian are able to further understand how the market is like in Pentas. Shah, you want to start a bit about marketing first?
For me, for NFT, I must say, marketing is all. For right now, I'm working professionally as digital marketers. So for NFT is you cannot use the same foundation that you use into business. But at the end of the day, the what is that called, the basics of the marketing is actually applied to exactly to the NFT. The only difference is the way how to use it, like how to say, like a cake, and you eat cake and pancake you cook it on the pan, cake you cook it on the oven. Seems like NFT. It's the same output. The main objective is to sell your art, but how do you want to sell your art? So in NFT you have a lot of way. You have to join the community. Definitely you have to join community. For me, how you going to grow in NFT world is, it's different from back then. During when I first start selling my art into different merchandise platform, you still have to join the community, which is in Reddit. Internationally, I joined international community in Reddit. I told them, oh, I sold this into Society 6, or for Creative United is a local. We don't have much community during for Creative United, but you mostly are selling it to yourself, to your friend, or to your followers. So I'm not sure whether we have a art community back then. We have, but I'm not really joining, and not so big as much as right now. NFT right now have a really big and supportive community, I must say. So in a way, to promote your artwork is to, to joining the community, to be part of the community. If you don't talk too much, it's okay, but you have to, engage with them, show them, oh, we have this, we have that. The foundation, the basic of marketing is still the same, and the objective is still the same. It's only the way how you want to give. There's a lots of projects that I see. Let's not look into fine art, let's look into overall of NFT itself. Even some of the collectible project, they have this Discord, they have this mission, they have that, they have this. This is for collectible. They, in order for people to buy their NFT. For fine arts, for me, it's almost pretty much the same as how you sell your physical artwork. It's only you just to engage with the what community you are. If you are selling it into into NFT, then engage with NFT community. You cannot go to somewhere else lah. It's a different marketplace already. Okay.
Yeah, that's a very long strain of thoughts right there, Shah. And really, you worded it perfectly. At the end of the day, is to join the community if it's possible. And Raj, sorry, when will they be minting on Pentas?
By 16, you should be able to start your offers. Yeah.
Or can they actually start minting their own works right now? Their previous works as well. I'm sure they are able to, right?
Yeah. If they have previous work, they can start minting. There's no issues for the new ones. For the ones for the related to the project, then we're working some form in the background. Before we start minting it. Yeah.
I see. Okay, so I got another question. Okay, so I will direct this question to Shah and Cody. What can we do if we are I would say a bit more on the introvert side, because artists, most majority of them or some of them are actually quite introvert, and what can we actually do about it? Because if we don't put our artworks out there, at the end of the day nobody will see our artworks, and no matter how talented we are, we don't manage to sell our artworks also. So Shah, what do you think? What can an artist who is more on the introverted side do to help themselves?
As far I can see right now, right, even an introvert can be, can turn into someone else into online world. Really, I see one of them actually. But for me, for them to talk publicly like space like this, probably it took time or it took training for them to to really want to bring themselves out to let people know about them. But I can tell you the engagement, a lot of artists in Twitter, especially for Nurina and new information, a lot of NFT community are engaging in Twitter space. So some of them, let me tell you, I never heard their voice, I never see their face, but I can tell they sell really well verbally, by writing, by comprehension, by they talk, by they engaging, by they how they tell their story about their arts. But even let's just say Sue, I hardly communicate with her, but I can tell she always tell about her art journey. She always tell about how she drew this thing, how she came out with the idea. So that's some of the buyers want to know actually. So I don't think that's a problem for introvert, extrovert. Maybe you have extra point, you have extra point there where you can talk more, like myself, into public. Even myself, I don't really like talk a lot because I have very, very less energy. So my energy is very limited. So when I, when people invite me to come to the talk, I will, save up all my energy for this particular program or to talk with you guys. But sometimes if like a normal space afterward, I prefer not to join. But sometimes I will definitely support some of the artists that come out into my timeline, into my Twitter timeline. So whenever they, they retweet, I like the art, okay, I retweet for you. Even in the Telegram community for Nurina and new information, we have a lot of small Telegram community. Got photography Telegram community, got official Pentas community, got Malaysia NFT community, got girl NFT community. So this small community will support each other. because that's how you strengthen the community, to build and to grow together within your community. So for me, even you are introvert, even you're extrovert, I don't think you have problem to typing stuff into your phone. So just do whatever you are best to do. So for you to grow. Some of the people I can tell, I'm not saying putting this to anyone, but I can tell some of you like that maybe actively in Twitter. Probably if I see you real life, you probably don't want to talk to me because why? Because you have problem to talk people, but you don't have problem to to convey your message into Twitter, into how many? 240 characters.
Yeah, it's difficult lah to sometimes to have people who are maybe people who are newer to Twitter to express their feelings. And Cody, I do need to ask you about Twitter Spaces. How important is it for an artist to go to Twitter Spaces? And when it comes to confidence, how does one build it like you?
Wow. Yeah, just do a lot of drugs. I think it's time. You gotta get some of that external. I'm totally kidding, of course. I think whatever channel you use these days are good. Like Twitter Spaces is great. Everyone's talking about NFTs. This is the space, right? What if not Twitter? Where else? This is the social media platform to show your stuff, right? The entire crypto Twitter is here as well. So yeah, like Shah said, you got little pockets of community, right? And you can always find your buyers there. But it's all about your brand, lah, right? If your brand is, I mean, it's up to you. If your brand is mysterious and all that, then yeah, just don't join Twitter Spaces. It's entirely up to your brand. So and I think we were having a conversation in the afternoon about introverts and whatnot, and I think we landed on the conclusion, at least before I had to go, that it's not a matter of, because introverts, it's a matter of socializing, right? But speaking, however, it's a whole new different game. So I have encountered a lot of co-speakers during my times speaking at TED, TED Talks and all that. I do have a lot of co-speakers who are introverts, and they're masters at speaking. So yeah, it's not a matter of socializing. It's a matter of figuring out your message and what you want to communicate across. And yeah, just do your thing. The wonderful thing about Twitter Spaces is that you can do it wherever you want, right? Like, I'm literally on the bed right now. You guys have no idea. I'm half naked. This is great. I'm having one of the most professional, profound thoughts shared online, and you guys have no freaking idea. I could be absolutely pantsless, and yeah, sorry, I'm pandering, but yes, it's very important. Do it.
Yeah. The reason why I want Cody to come up to this space is because Cody is a very straight up guy. He's also a very honest collector. He will tell you what he likes about your work. He will tell you what he dislikes about your work. In this case, he will just tell you your work is whatever, your profile is whatever. I'm not going to swear. Cody is going to swear for himself because he is more of the sweary type of guy lah. Yeah.
Sweary type of guy.
Oh yeah. But Cody has been with us for quite a few sessions or so. So therefore, I hope if Nurina and Vivian, if you guys do have any question, if you ladies, talented artists, do have any questions, please, at the best, squeeze a knowledge or perhaps some money out of Cody himself, so that he'll be able to share with you guys some knowledge as well. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. I'm ready to drop some dollar. Just mint something.
I see, he's so ready already, guys. Our last question for the night is, how difficult is art actually? How difficult is it to lay out your thoughts and really just express it on a piece of paper or digitally on an iPad? Shah, do you want to start first when it comes to the difficulty of art? Is there actually a difficulty to it, or how would you actually finite it?
It have what is that called? I don't know how to call it. It has level of difficulty, I must say. It can be straightforward. Can be like that. It's just like I want to draw a leaf. That's a leaf. That's all. Or maybe
Yeah. You see, but when you want to draw a leaf, right, then suddenly it turns into a tree, which suddenly turns into a farm, which suddenly turns into a landscape. You know, how does it actually work? And you know,
Oh,
how-
well, it's yeah, that's just like Cody said, it's very subjective to, you know, to explain to people, but the fan or the person who love the art will definitely understand. I must say, like last week, just last week only, I go to one of the artist corner in the Curve. So I was, you know, it's been a while since like my last visit to arts gallery. So I spent some time to look after all the artworks. Some of the artwork, some of the artwork there, this one of these artists, I really like take my time, you know, just standing in front of his art. He just, you know, produced a 3D art using clay material together with the acrylic, a bunga raya, a hibiscus. That is all. But I was standing there for a good 5 minutes just to see how he produced the 3D part, because the painting is basically like pop out from the painting. So I think some of you guys get the idea lah. If you guys follow my Instagram, you'll see the artwork that I shared in my Instagram before. So for me, yeah, it's subjective. It can be a simple, but sometimes when I stare into arts, I will see the skills of the artist. It depends to the people. For myself, as an artist myself, if I go to the physical art gallery, I will, you know, try to figure out the skill of this artist, and then try to, you know, understand his background. Sometimes when I see this, I feel like I managed to talk one of the artists during that day. I talked to him, and then he explained about his arts, and then at the same time I try to guess his background. Or when I see one of his art and then I see the kind of his art, I ask him, do you have architecture background? Because I can see in your art. Yes, definitely. Even he never tell me, but I can tell because I always look into artist background whenever I see their, you know, their piece of art. So I'm not just artist myself, I'm also an arts lover. So sometimes I look into arts, I look into the skills, the way how they produce it, how the technique they use, how they, sometimes you buy art, not just an art, you could buy their skills as well.
That's perfectly said right there. And part of the artist also who also enjoys art. That's really, you have a lot of art in your blood, lah, basically. Vivian, I do want to ask you the final question. Maybe actually just one or two questions, lah. How difficult is art actually? Because you have a master's in landscape architecture, a bachelor's degree in interior design. You're also a lecturer, so obviously you have tons of experience. Then, how difficult it is, if there is a difficulty to it?
I think the most difficult is to take the first step to start painting, because when we want to start, for example, for me, when I want to start painting, sometimes I will worry too much or think too much about maybe the outcome, maybe my confidence level, maybe how people think of my painting, others' opinion. So I think to be confident to our own technique, even technique or medium or any style, that is the most important thing. And also another important thing is the meaning behind the artwork, which also related to why I chose Furious, because as I mentioned just now, my first NFT is about it review the woman's emotion during the COVID-19 period. So it's about very sad, very very how to say, melancholy, despair. So it's like it's like a roller coaster, and then the next step is the extreme anger. So that's why I think, because I think I'm maybe the last three artists to choose the emotion, so only left few only. So I think I'm very opposite situation with Shah, because for me, interpret Furious in a very positive way. which is something totally different from what we know. Because for me, anger is actually something very energetic and powerful. And also it is the most intense and extreme feeling of ourselves. And when we are angry, we are actually very real to ourselves and to others. Because when our emotion is covered by maybe by logical thinking, we are hidden and we are acting too modest. But when we are in a furious and anger intense feeling, actually we are more attractive. This is what I want to show in my painting. That's why I choose the most attractive and striking color, which is red color. And I paint it in a super intense power way, which I swing the artwork left and right. I swing the acrylic paints, and for the background, I use the knife to, even during the process, is very angry and powerful. So I have recorded it down. You can check it out in my YouTube channel when it is minted on the platform.
Okay. Cody, you muted yourself.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, you got something to say?
No.
Oh.
I am sitting here very intentfully listening to this woman talk about her art piece. Vivian
Vivian,
obviously
please.
knows what the hell she's doing, right? I especially love the fact that she explained her brushstrokes and how dramatic she is. I'm sure she looks like she's doing a TikTok dance while midst of painting. It's I'm looking forward.
Actually, I want to explain about introvert issue just now. I'm not an introvert, just that English is not my mother language. I'm not very good in speaking English. That's why maybe you feel like I'm an introvert during this session. Actually, I'm a crazy person.
I see. Okay. Right. Yeah, Cody, you unmuted yourself again the second time.
Damn, why do I keep doing that?
Okay. But I do have your Vivian just sent me your artwork, but I don't want to post it for you because I want you to post it yourself. So you can probably take this 2 to 3 minutes to go and get it up and post it on Twitter. So before we end this space, we are actually able to show it to everyone as well. I've just seen it. It's extremely fantastic with all the paints and definitely expressions of anger, if I were to say. Anger in a very nice way, in a very direct and straightforward way. Wow, you actually changed my thinking today. Is that anger is also important to me. I was never a fan of anger. I was like, every time somebody wants to make an argument with me, somebody wants to scold me, I would just walk away, and I only want to deal with situation when there is lesser emotions involved. But today you actually changed my thinking. Today you actually changed it to like, whenever you're angry or someone, just scold them back. Just don't give a shit about what they think. Yeah. Nurina, please go ahead with your experience in art, and when it comes to difficulty, what do you think about it?
My painting theme is joyful for the auction, and the painting have a title, The Earth Love in Flowers. If you can see, there's so many flower in my painting. I'm using a bold color to represent the joy, happiness, journey of becoming a parenthood that treat every single day in a positive and fantastic way. It's make us feel like a piece of the earth is a miracle. That's how I describe my painting. And then from that painting, it's also remind me that the most fertile lands are built by the fires of the volcanoes. If you can see from the picture, from my painting, there's at the bottom there's a volcano actually. Then that's how I describe the story behind the painting.
This one is is it your profile picture, that one?
Yeah.
I see. Okay. So can you talk a bit more about it while I just pin it up at the space also?
Yeah, about the painting, the theme is joyful.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, I'm using a bold color to represent the joy and happiness journey of becoming a parenthood that treat every single day in the positive and fantastic way. Actually, it's make us feel that each piece of the earth is a miracle. It's the story behind the painting.
I see. Okay.
And also, if you can see at the bottom of the painting, there's a volcano. It's remind me that the most fertile lands are built by the fire of volcanoes. Is a story behind the painting. So that's actually about my painting that goes to this auction, right? The next following week.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's a
So
huge canvas. When she reached out to
yeah, it's
us,
a huge
she asked
canvas.
us, she
Yeah,
asked
it's
us,
very
is
huge
it okay?
canvas.
It's an extremely huge canvas, and you can see that you are sitting beside it also quite joyful. So that's why it links to the theme joyful also.
Yeah, yeah. I like the most cheerful colors, and I like the happiness uh, in most of my painting.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
okay, I'm actually curious right now. How do you actually express joyousness in terms of color? What do you mean by joyousness? Because for me, when I think of joyousness, right, I just think of like, I don't know, I just think of people laughing. There's no color to it. So how do you actually think of these colors like red, green, a bit of
Yeah.
brown?
Actually, it's based on the individual perspective. For me, if you can see the painting is like someone smiling. It's like a smiley face, and then the colors is bold color that represent the joyful of life, the freedom of life. Is it depends on the individual perspective actually.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Mm.
So I do want to, yeah, Raj.
You will never understand an abstract art, Shinji. I tried and I failed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it takes the more we look at it, the more details we can get to see lah. Exactly. That's why fine
Right.
art is so beautiful. Yeah. So Cody, I do want to ask your opinion on this. Just now on what Nurina said about stuff. Uh, can we word it together in a paragraph and put it onto Pentas Minted? Is that story a good story to push forward? And would people actually buy it? What do you think, Cody?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe, maybe.
Maybe, man. We don't
Just
know, man. The market's
We
weird,
don't
man.
know. The thing, I do not know the answer to it. I mean, this is such an open-ended question. But yeah, I mean, we can expect so many things, but the NFT space is definitely great marketing, lah. If not anything, even if you don't sell your artwork, you probably can sell your second piece.
Yeah.
This is
So
the best way to showcase your work these days.
yeah, I agree with you, man, Cody, because some of the artists, they can go a few months without selling their works at all at Pentas. Am I right, Cody?
Yeah. I mean, like any business that just starts up, you got to get the
Yeah.
word out. You got to get
Yeah.
the branding out.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So I think we are at the end of our session already. If Raj, do you want to close off this session, and what do you think? And further, also, if there's anything to look forward to, yeah, go ahead.
Yep, sure. So I saw a few people jumping to speakers, but no questions then. Okay then. Okay, so I'll try to wrap it off, the session. So basically, guys, what's going to happen next is that we're going to have another 3 more episodes. So to better understand why we are doing this, I think it relates to one of the key points that were discussed, I think, earlier by, I think, Shah and also Futurist. One of the key reasons is, as I mentioned, we have a mixed blend of artists. Some of them are already in Pentas, they're popular, but they have never really been featured. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. Some of them are returning back after some break. And then some of them are new, but these are really amazing people. As you mentioned, some of them are introverts, some of them, they have real life experiences but not in NFT. So when we spoke to them, and we got them to be part of the course, each of them, and then we pledged, we felt that there is a need that, in order for them to be truly successful, and that's what we truly wish, and it's not only for the course, but to be to be truly successful, is to be part of the community, because we believe that, and we have also observed that, in order to thrive in NFTs, to be part of the community is a huge thing, because someone could be really popular in the real world, but by just minting a few art is not going to make a difference if they cannot relate, connect to the people and to the art and also to the community itself. This is what we truly believe, and that's why we took all the trouble to get every single artist here. So what's going to happen, guys, actually is that we have broke into 4 sessions, and we'll be having in each sessions hopefully 3 artists. And I think I've actually pinned it on this chat, our video. We've actually released a video earlier today, and you can see who are the 12 artists, and we'll also be releasing the posters. I think Fisheries and Roach Punks and Chicky Punks have also shared who is going to be in the episodes, but we'll have formal posters that will be released. And yeah, so that's pretty much what's going to happen. And in terms of minting, you'll be expecting to be seeing those arts dated by 16 onwards. You can start doing your offers, and on the official auction date, which is on 29 January 1 to 5, we'll actually conduct a session, live session, also on all our social media, and I will be on all social medias that we actually have. And we'll have fillers inside where we might have some of the guests come in and speak in between as we do the auction and we close the session. So that's basically what you'll be expecting. Okay, so as for now, I'm very much excited. I think we've done pretty well in terms of the status of 3 of the artists. Thank you, Shah, Nurina, and Vivian. And I think we also have a great lineup coming up next in the next sessions from even more interesting genres. So I really look forward to seeing the next sessions. And thank you to Cody, to all the other people who actually stand up early and ask questions, and of course to Shinji. Shinji, off to you, man, to close it up. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for giving us this opportunity. Again, thank you to all the artists, Vivian, Shah, and also Nurina, for really coming up here, sharing us your thoughts. Forgive me if I was a bit harsh or if I did say anything that hurt your feelings. I don't mean to accuse anyone being an introvert. I just wanted to approach this topic very broadly because it's just a presumption of mine. And if I really did offend any of you, I'm really sorry. So the next speakers for the next session, FYI, you guys, to look forward to is Dr. Jasma. We have Asmo Rock and also ASEAN. So it will be held on 12th January 2022, next Wednesday, 8:30 to 10:30 as well. We will talk about their artworks and how they get inspirations from. It's definitely going to be another extremely fun session. So, Shah, do you have any last words to say or anything else to share with us, Shah?
Oh, thank you very
Okay.
much for the session. Very much. I think I never talk about my actual arts journey really briefly to everyone, but I guess some of you all heard it today. Finally, thank you.
But the most important thing is that this session will be on our podcast. It will be on our Futurists podcast. Everything is recorded.
No.
Hey, the previous session when it's about the women's session, right? You remember, if you actually heard it back, right? I actually put in the part where you said you put a gun on my head one. So that was actually really scary. But I just decided to include that part in because it was just hilarious. Yeah.
Guys, I'm a funny, not as scary. Yeah.
Okay. Nurina, do you have anything else for us or any last words to say? Maybe any burning questions?
No. Just thank you to all, and thank you for the time.
Yeah. Thank you so much actually for your time also. And looking forward to the auction as well. Vivian, last words? Your artwork is up here already. I actually pinned your artwork in this space. So everybody go check it out.
Thank you. I'm very happy to join this virtual world. I feel like space distance is not a problem because we are all up here in NFT. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, fantastic. And finally, Cody, anything else to say to wrap up the session?
Don't do drugs. Everyone's great. Thanks, guys. Everyone.
Okay. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone. We'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.